They arrived to the court of Gali in the morning. They give their request to a chamberlain, who brings them to a suit. He explained to them that the king could not receive them during the day, due to the protocol. The place was composed of a living room, with on one side a luxurious bathroom, and on the other two separate rooms. In it was placed a massive canopy bed, a wardrobe, and a lectern. All the walls were covered by tapestries with floral patterns. You should clean yourselves and put new and more presentable clothes by the same occasion. Especially for you, alchemist. An unmarried lady has to be elegant and distinguished, said the chamberlain before to leave the suit. I hate when people come at my outfit, said the young woman. I imagine, said Tangal, but I think you should take care about what you choose. In the court, the clothes are used to give message, responded Tangal. Aedries sighed and went to her room. The young man went to a big window and opened it. He arrived on a balcony overlooking the city. On each extremity was a little metal gate. Each one led to a separate corridor, one for the men and the other for the women. If people of different sex could share the same suit, they can't share the same activities, at the exception of the dances and the banquet of the evening. They were probably in the part of the palace destined to the young people. The next day promised to be incredibly boring, especially for Idris. The biggest majority of the young women in the court were dreaming about an idealized prince and talking about their new perfumes. Of course, it was not especially the kind of the alchemist. She just came out of the bathroom dressed with a wool bathrobe. She went in her room and closed the door behind her. Tungal went to the bathroom. In it were placed two copper basins. One of them were covered by a wooden lid destined to keep the water hot. The young man closed the door behind him, undressed, opened the lid, and entered in the water. Different ointments were placed on a rack. He could read their name. Of course, each one of them had a special meaning, but Tangal did not know them. He noticed a book placed on the corner. In it were told the meaning of each perfume. Tungal opened it and immediately saw that the theme was for humility. Well, that would be perfect. It should avoid provocation from the others, and in any case, he didn't want to spend 1 hour to choose a smell. When he had finished to wash himself, he put a bathrobe and joined his room. He opened the wardrobe. An incredible number of different clothes were stuck in it. The traditional clothes of the gentry of Gali was a pantyhose, a tunic with 3 thin belts, an overcoat, a scarf, and high shoes. He finally chose a white pantyhose with a black tunic, carmine belts, a black overcoat, and a red scarf and black shoes. He finally went out of the room and reached the balcony. Tangal, how do you find me? asked Idris. She was dressed with a plume dress covered by a saffron and carmine floral motif. She put on her shoulders an indigo scarf and on her head a fine silver tiara. As the custom of Gali wanted it, as an unmarried woman, she had white gloves. Well, I'm not an expert in the custom of Gali, but I think it is great, responded the soldier. No, Tangal, I mean, you. How do you find me? Honestly, you are beautiful like that. The young woman blushed and had a little smile. You are not too bad, you too. Thanks you. We should go, responded the soldier. The court of Gali was divided in two parts. The men and married women in one side, and the unmarried women in the other. Tungal and Aedries were separate during the day because of the traditions of the gentry of Gali, but they meet again during the banquet of the evening. The two travelers were placed side by side at the end of the table because they didn't add any title of nobility. They learned during the feast that Redfield had been attacked by the Aes, which destroyed the royal palace, the citadel of the temple, and the fortress in which was placed the garrison of the city. Fortunately, the rest of the city wasn't touched, but the Radiant Empire lost its government, his headquarters, the elite of his army, and the authority of the Great Temple. After the banquet, they were invited to meet the king of Gali. They explained to him their story. The monarch told them that he waited other groups coming from the temple and the Radiant Empire and other countries of Terebia. However, the destruction of Slavza was an important information, allowing him to remove some of the troops in the north for the rest of the Gallic kingdom.